عودنا والعود أحمد. غبرت على الشباب، واخا قليل الشباب اللي مسوق، ولكن حنايا كاينين هنا ومازال غادي نبقاو. دونك بمناسبة الحلقات الرائعة د ون بيس فين لوتشي تتعلق وتفلق. عندنا واي لوتشي فيرسوس كينغ از كلوز. هاد تايلر انا كنعرف عليه بلا مكلخ، ولكن نشوفوا هاد الفيديو. ليتس جو.
After the recent chapters of One Piece concluding the Zoro vs. Lucci fight finally, and the One Piece anime cooking with Lucci vs. Gear 5 Luffy and adding in some additional feats, both of these guys not only are crazy durable, but they are complete opposites when it comes to their reputation within the community. Lucci is looked at as cannon fodder because he got negged by Gear 5 Luffy, while
وراه فودر وي غات نيكد. شنو ما كاينش شي حاجه جديده في هادشي اللي قلتي.
King is respected and people even glaze at him and say he's the Zoro to Kaido's Luffy. Today I'll be addressing all of the scaling in depth
ما
since
فهمتش زورو تو كايدوز. وراه السطره كان زورو بقات له ضربه واحده اخرى وغيموت. ما فهمتش شنو اللي صعيب تفهم في هاد القضيه، راه مغلبوها بالكشايف.
my Lucci Katakuri video was not only made before Luffy vs. Kizaru even came out, if I'm being honest, but clearly you guys are not satisfied given the comments I got on that video and the Katakuri stand still standing. Anyway, let's see which Zoro opponent is harder. Bro, I'm almost 20, bro. What am I doing? We'll first go over King since Lucci has been getting talked about a lot recently, and I never talk about King, like, at all. Now, before I even mention any feat King has against Zoro, it should be clear that when King fights Zoro, Zoro is not only not at 100%, but just has enough stamina to combat
وي كان عام 120% ماشي 100%.
someone. Zoro doesn't really tap into Enma's true power towards the end of the fight, and he never even uses Asura in his battle with King. Again, he only starts to use Advanced Conquerors near the end, where he was actually able to use one swing of it on King, where King just got completely obliterated. I do not think King in any way, shape, or form scales to full power Zoro. With that being said, King is still a beast, given the fact that he's fought a version of Zoro that was relative to Sanji, and before this, he was pretty much taking minimum damage against Marco and could even tag him at times. And also, while him and King weren't going
دونك هو ما غيسكالي حتى حاجه قريبه للفول باور زورو، ولكن في نفس الوقت هو في النيفو ديال ماركو. هادشي باش كيحمقوك بهاد اللوجيك المكلخه. اصاحبي راه كلهم نيفو واحد، عا واحد غيغلب الاخر وصافي.
all out, he was doing better against Sanji. And mind you, Marco and Sanji are characters who are able to intercept Kizaru, with Marco being able to even kick him down in Marineford. Granted, this
اصاحبي وكتبقى تجبدوا لنا هذا بحال شي حاجه كبيره. دوس
did 0 damage, but it's still impressive stuff nonetheless. The most impressive thing to note for King by far, though, is definitely his durability. He's pretty much invulnerable when Zoro isn't using advanced combat.
هاد الحاجه مازال ما بغاش تفهم ليا. ماشي دابا من هي ازنت يوزين كونكرورز، راه انفولنيرابل. راه ملي كيكون عنده العافيه في ظهره راه انفولنيرابل. دابا الفانز قدو يتقبلوا بان هذاك توب مان ولا سميتو فوق مان ولا سميتو هذاك الخنز الجديد تاع الكوروسي، قالوا بانه فعلا ديورابل على كايدو، حق حيت الريد روك ما دارت والو. علاش هذا ما كتقبلوش بانه ديورابل على كايدو؟ شرح ليا. راه
And his flames are on, and we see characters like S-Hawk and S-Shark who, like King, have Lunarian DNA, and they pretty much take no damage from not only a suppressed Lucci, but also Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, and Kaku. But again, this is mainly when his flames are on, and when they are off, his durability is dropped, but it's made up for a decent increase in speed. However, we know it isn't a blitz difference, as Zoro can still keep up and react to King. We also see him in the anime legit spawn AoE fire dragons, which he did not have in the manga. Not only does this guy have durability and speed, but he also has insane range that could be overwhelming for even the fraudulent leopard. Although King is definitely impressive, I do not think he's as impressive as a lot of people say. Like, for example, people like to compare his durability to Dragon Kaido's and say that King has superior durability to them.
اللي قلنا. شوف، ومن الصباح هو كيهضر ويزيد بانه فعلا ما كياخذ لا دامج لا هو ولا السيرافيمز، وفي الاخر يقول لك لا كايدو دورابيليتي ديالو. وكنشوفوا شنو كيفاش شرحها.
Version of Kaido, which I believe is disingenuous, since not only is he fighting 4 other people plus Zoro, but we see later on in the fight he is quite literally holding back the entire time. Like
هولدين باك مدابز مع درب. فين هي العلاقه د هذا الشيء بالدورابيليتي؟ اشرح ليا. انت هضرتي على الدورابيليتي، هضرتي على الداماج اللي ضربوه هذا والاخر وما داو منه والو. علاش كتقول لي كايدو هولدين باك وكتربطها بالدورابيليتي؟ وهادي هذه مغالطه منطقيه. هذه عاد جيتي حطيتي دو زيليمون وربطتيهم بيناتهم، ما كاين بيناتهم حتى رابط منطقي.
Like, we are not about to say King scales to Kaido, bro. Like,
اوف كورس does not scale to كايدو، ولكن الدرابيليتي ديالو احسن من كايدو. اما تجي دير لي داك الرابط العجيب ديال سبيسون، ما الفرق، ما الرابط ما بين الابره وحصان السباق، راه ما خدامش بهذاك الشيء اخي.
anyway, let's now talk about the
فوالا خورت خور وقال anyway.
on goat. That being Rob Lucci. I almost feel bad for the character. Had he not been a backstabbing loser, I would have considered him cool. Seriously though, the lack of credit Lucci gets for his performance on Egghead is kind of insane. Everyone likes to make fun of how he got thrashed by Gear 5 and he isn't Yonko level, which, I mean, isn't wrong, and I was one of those people who made fun of him. But I don't think the community understands you can be weaker than a Yonko and still relevant in the series. Lucci got obliterated by Luffy, however, for someone who was losing consciousness in this fight, he regained his footing pretty well. And in the anime, we have instances of Lucci even reacting to Gear 5. Though, it's clear that Luffy is still above him in speed because, yeah, that speed blitz was nasty. And after being bullied by Luffy, he'd go on to aid Gear 4 Luffy in a suppressed version of his transformation, or the base one that he fought Luffy in Eddie's lobby, against S-Bear, and right after is forced up against Zoro, where they are both forced to draw most of their full power to defeat one another. Granted, he doesn't
الفول باور ديال زورو، هي الفول باور ديال زورو.
use Asura or King of Hell to its fullest extent, but we do know that he
فين هو كينغ اوف هيل اصلا باش نهضروا على الفول اكستنت.
at least was using the power against Lucci earlier in the fight. And although Lucci came out a little short against Zoro, Lucci didn't
شو قال لي الشورت شنو كتكون النتيجه ديالها؟ قال لي الشورت هو مذبوح يا صاحبي، مذبوح من 3 البلايص ومشقوق عاوتاني عموديا. ها شوف شلاخ، هذه هي كايمه الليل الشورت.
even transform back
حيد له حوايج وقتل له عائلته وذبحوا ودخلوا للحبس، هي كايمه الليل الشورت.
to base after being hit with Zoro's attack, and it wasn't until after Jinbei threw a whole fishman technique at him where he reverted back.
فين هي هول فيشمان تكنيك؟ هذه التكنيك هذه كاع بعدو فيها هول فيشمان تكنيك.
Base, and he was still standing, mind you, like Whitebeard. While King mainly excels in durability, I think it's obvious that Lucci, in terms of endurance, excels just as well, if not even better. But
الاندورنس ضربه وحده جابوا اصاحبي مغيب كيكشكش في الارض.
is he able to endure the wildfire's onslaught before it's too late? Oh, that was pretty hard. Now, this topic, unlike a lot of topics I cover, is very close, and I feel like you can make a case for either party winning. But in my opinion, more times than not, it's more than likely Lucci would be able to survive anything King has to offer, even including his final attack. You see, if we believe Zoro actually tried in that clash with Lucci, then there's no reason for me to believe Lucci can't withstand King's attacks for a long period of time. Not only do I believe Lucci can endure whatever
اعطيني اتاك وحده ديال لوتشي تقد دير شي حاجه لكينغ. اعطيني اتاك وحده تقد تغلب لوتشي، يخلع بها كينغ ولا يغلبو ولا يدير له اوضه شي تسليكه بحال اللي دار لزورو. جاوبني على هذه صافي نعطيك اخويا الاوك ديالك.
King throws at him, but King's flame off speed wouldn't be faster than his full powered attack, especially considering that Lucci fought Zoro after being thrashed by Gear 5 and being able to react to him. Like, you can't prove King can react to Gear 5 Luffy. Make fun of Lucci all you want, but those feats unironically do matter, and especially when you consider other CP0 members surviving attacks from Kaido
كينغ غادي تغلبو ميستوسي باكنهام.
point blank. It's really not that hard to believe that King's attacks would be pretty much ineffective against Lucci. Lucci's got the speed, he's got the endurance, and he's also got the power to put King down.
He's got والو he's got ستيل العياقه والريسنسي بايس، حيت هو اخر ما بان في الانيم راه يفرعوا لنا راسنا به دابا. بون جوري فيديو، نتمنى تكون عجباتكم. سي يو.